Hi everybody, happy Monday and the very last week of term 3. It's been a bit of a different term, hasn't it? We haven't had school like we usually do, but you have all been doing so well. I've been talking to Mrs. Baverstock and Mrs. Turrell and Miss Fells, and they say, ka pai, everybody has been doing such a fantastic job of their online learning. So guess what? This week, we're going to do things a bit different. Each day this week, a different teacher will come on and read you a story. Each day this week, a different teacher will have designed some fun learning activities for you to choose from. So no task board this week. You get to choose. You might do one of the activities, you might do two of the activities, you might go, hey, I want to do all of these activities. You choose what you would like to do. And the most important thing is that you have F-U-N, fun doing them. And today it's my turn, so welcome to Monday. And as you can see, I'm wearing a hat because today your activities are all around hats. And I was just having a look at my cupboard. Look at all these hats I found. A sports hat or cap, a sun hat, a snow hat. And then I started looking at the toys in my nursery and I found a doll with a hat. And you're going to love this one. I even found, have you seen one of these before? This is Mother Goose with a hat. But sadly, Mother Goose's batteries have worn out, but she has a hat called a bonnet. So we know there are lots of different hats in the world. I wonder how many hats you can find if you look around your house. On your task board today, you are going to be able to choose from 5 different activities. The first one asks you to dance. To Dance Monkey. I love Dance Monkey. Or Old Town Road, and I know lots of you do that. So find a hat and dance to it. And you might want to record yourself dancing and send it to your Seesaw page so your teacher can see how well you're doing. Another activity asks you to listen to one of my favourite stories, The Cat in the Hat, and then you get to draw a cat in the hat by following the instructions, or you get to make your very own crazy Cat in the Hat hat. So that's a fun one. The next one says, you know what? We love maths. So I've popped up a couple of maths activities, fun games, and also, if you want to, you could make a maths hat. And I put some pictures down there. Somebody got some cards and made it into a big hat. You can do whatever you like. Send us a photo. And the last activity is about pirates. Pirates wear hats, you can listen to the songs, and you can make yourself an origami pirate hat. So you've got lots to choose from. Now today I get to read you a story, and I'm going to choose a story called Grandma Garvey and the Treasure Hunt. And you can see that Grandma Garvey is in the garden and she's wearing a hat. So let's have a look and see what happens in our story today. Just going to move that around so you can really see the picture clearly. When Grandma Garvey was mowing the yard, she ran over something clunky and hard, and the rotary engine spluttered and died, and smoke started billowing out of the side. Can you help me with those words? Cough, sputter, not splutter, sputter. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Poor old Grandmama Garvey. She gets herself into all sorts of weird situations. So let's see what it says on that page. Mrs. Craig needs to pull it so that she can see. Drat, muttered Grandma and gave it a kick, then jabbed at the blade with her gardening stick. But as she was poking and prodding around, she saw something odd sticking out of the ground. It was shiny and sparkly, though not very big. Can you see that under there? Wonder what it is. She snatched up her spade and started to dig, and out of the dirt flew a handful of stones, a wiggly worm, some disgusting old bones, a half-eaten shoe and a couple of socks, and a key to her missing jewellery box. And the dog who was watching all this from the side looked very embarrassed, and he ran off to hide. He can't believe that Grandma McGarvey is chopping up the lawn trying to find something. Then Grandma scowled, so that's where it went, and although the key was horribly bent, she figured her jewels must be buried nearby, so she hoisted the spade with a gleam in her eye and started to dig at a furious pace, with the dirt spraying up all over her face. Can you see it all over her face? Then, what's going to happen now? She felt herself slip in her gardening boots, and the spade became wedged in a snaggle of roots. So Grandma McGarvey picked up her axe and chopped through the roots with a couple of whacks. But just as she was swinging her axe in the air, it caught on the clothesline, which started to tear, and her socks, her knickers, her favourite skirt came tumbling down and dumped in the dirt. Then, she always gets into trouble, Grandma McGarvey, doesn't she? The tree started lurching all over her head, gave an ear-splitting crack and smashed on the shed. Uh-oh, Dungo. Grandma McGarvey just straightened her hat. I'm not giving up as easily as that. So she spat on her hands and went back to work. But, uh-oh, what's going to happen now, I wonder? The spade came to rest with a juddering jerk, and a fountain of water shot in the air and started to slop and slosh everywhere. Curses, cried Grandma, I've burst a drain. I must have sliced into the water main. And she watched with alarm as the water rose and swirled down the path with a tangle of clothes. What a disaster this lady is. It flattened her favourite garden gnome, can you see the garden gnome? And scooped up the dog in a flurry of foam, and it barreled him into the garden beyond and flung him head first in the goldfish pond. Then the water smashed into the compost bins, and a shower of rotten banana skins, stinky old cabbage and mouldering bread came hurtling down onto Grandma's head, and the clothesline got tangled around her feet as the water went sweeping out into the street. Then somebody called the fire brigade, and Grandma McGarvey was rather dismayed when it stopped at her gate with its siren on loud, and watched by a large and curious crowd, the firemen struggled to cut her free, then pumped all the water away to sea. And as Grandma McGarvey straightened her clothes and scraped all the muck off the end of her nose, she heard a peculiar gurgling sound, and something came bubbling out of the ground. Her eyes grew wide, and her heart gave a thud as a diamond tiara popped out of the mud, then an emerald brooch, a ruby ring, and her beautiful pearls on a silvery string. Well, I never, laughed Grandma, and shook her head. It was worth it all in the end, she said. Grandma McGarvey ran out to the street and invited the crowd to an afternoon treat. She put on a fabulous party spread with a squishy mud cake and some fairy bread, a spectacular spinach and sardine log, and a juicy new bone for her scallywag dog. For as Grandma explained, the yard may be a mess, but my treasure hunt turned out to be a sparkling success. So all that jewellery was trapped in her drain, and when she whacked into the drain and all the water came out, so did the jewellery that she had lost. So she definitely did get some treasure from her treasure hunt. What a cool story, and I wonder if you've read any other Grandmama Garvey books. Right, go on and have a fun day. Send us anything you do. We want to have a look and we want to celebrate with you. Haere rā, ka kite ona.